Join me in today's video where I'll be sharing with you all of my personal makeup tips for a flawless and long-lasting makeup. Hello, my name is Linda. Welcome to my channel, Beauty Talk. I am a makeup artist and I'm passionate about makeup, skincare, hair care, all the things beauty. And my goal is that through my channel, I can help you navigate this overwhelming beauty industry by sharing tutorials, honest product reviews, tips, and all the things that can help you navigate this beauty industry with ease. So if you're ready to see how I achieve this flawless and long-lasting makeup application and all the tips that I have to share with you, let's get started. All right, let's get ready. I hope the setup is looking fine. This is a little bit of a struggle being a YouTuber sometimes because, first of all, filming in my bedroom is it causes me a little bit of discomfort because it's kind of like my privacy. But I just struggle to arrange myself anywhere else in my home because it's either a mess or the lighting is not good or the space. It's an issue. But anyway, let's not complain and let's get into the video. So my first tip for you, my personal tip, is for the best, most smoothest and effortless application of the makeup, you need to be taking care of your skin. So you need to have good skin prep. That will be the first tip of today. I've already done my skincare earlier today. It's been a few hours. It's actually Saturday, so I tend to do a little facial and I put all my serums and stuff, and then I put my sunscreen. It's been a few hours, so my skin is feeling a little bit, in need of a little bit of more hydration. So I'm gonna go and apply an extra layer of a moisturizer, and I'm gonna use this moisturizer from Charlotte Tilbury. It's perfect for this video and it's especially good for under makeup. So I'm going to use this one. And I shared this moisturizer in my recent full face of Charlotte Tilbury. So if you haven't watched it, go check it out. I speak a little bit more about the products more in depth. I give you a little review and you can see them in action. So this is a moisturizer. It's really nice. It's a lightweight moisturizer and it's just going to make the skin feel nice, moisturized, so that the makeup can actually grip onto the skin. Because if your skin is dry, makeup is just not going to grip onto the skin as well. So it's really important to take care of your skin, and the better the skin is, also like things like exfoliation, things like that, is gonna help for the makeup to apply much better. So this is me using an extra layer of moisturization. Even if you have oily skin, you need to be prepping your skin. You need to make sure your skin is nice and hydrated. If you live in a humid climate, maybe you just have to use a little bit less of the products, but you still need to have some hydration, even if it is using hydrating toner and going straight in with your sunscreen, which is perfect because sunscreens nowadays have enough moisturizing properties that can work as your moisturizer. So even if you don't want to wear too many things, at least make sure you do the bare minimum, which is giving some hydration, either if that's through a serum or a toner, but then making sure you put your moisturizer and your sunscreen, or just your sunscreen if you have very oily skin and you live in a very humid environment. So just as an example, your sunscreens can work really well as a base for your makeup, and I'm just going to share with you a few of the ones that I've been using lately. So I really love this one from Bondi Sands. This is their Hydra UV Protect SPF 50, and this one is more of a lotion, and this is beautiful. It really hydrates the skin, but it also goes really well under makeup. Doesn't ball, doesn't peel. And from the same range, they have this one, which is a little bit more of a lighter version. Today I use this one, and then I want to share this one, which is a beautiful one from Hamish. It's Korean one, and this one's called the Artless Glow Base, and this one has almost like this pearlescent effect. So it's really beautiful as almost like a primer. It goes really well underneath the skin, and I've just got a new version from this brand that I'll be sharing in a reels and probably in some of my next videos. I definitely need to do a video about my skincare. I really want to walk you through that. So if you're interested, let me know in the comments if you want to see my skincare, and I'll break it down for you and just tell you what I do in terms of my skincare to keep it nice and healthy and, prevent premature aging and all that stuff. So let's move on to the next step. The next step that I do in terms of having a flawless makeup, but also so that my makeup lasts all day, is that I do a little bit of eyelid prep. So I have, for the past couple of years, I have been starting my makeup by doing the eyes, because that way I can then do the cleanup and I can perfect the wing liner. So it's really useful, and that's another tip in itself, is to start by doing your eye makeup first, especially if you have hooded eyes or if you struggle with having a perfect eyeliner. It's really good because you can then perfect it when you move on to your base. But one extra thing that I've been doing in the past couple of weeks is I've been taking a little bit of micellar water and a little cotton pad, and I have been just cleaning my eyelids, because I have very oily eyelids, and I've noticed that because I use a lot of products in my skin prep, that it kind of just sometimes just is too much, and it balls up or something when I do my eyeshadow, and also it piles up in the eyebrows, so it interferes when you're doing the makeup there. So this is something I've started doing, and I find that it actually works really well. But if you have very dry eyelids, I would suggest you don't have to do this, and ensure that you actually do prep your eyelids with your serums and skincare and all that if you have dry eyelids, because that's also going to help so that your eyelids don't feel dry, but also so that the makeup just applies much better on that area. So last week I filmed basically the same kind of video but in Spanish. So I'm going to switch it up, and I'm going to use a little bit of a different product that I used in that video. I used the concealer from YSL, but for today I'm going to use the concealer from Charlotte Tilbury, and this is the Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer, and the color that I have is 3.5 Fair. So I'm going to use this to further prep my eyelids. So that will be the next step, is to prep your eyelids, and you can do that either by using an eyeshadow primer. There's tons in the market and they work really well. They're going to help so that your eyeshadow can be diffused and blended much more easily, but also so that the pigments can pop a little bit more, but as well as making your eyeshadow last longer. But instead of using an eye base or eyeshadow primer, I'm just going to use my concealer, because you can perfectly use your concealer to do the same step. So I'm going to take a little bit of the concealer and I'm just going to apply a little bit. This concealer from Charlotte Tilbury is very pigmented and it's quite creamy and emollient, so you don't need too much of that. So I am just going to spread that on my eyelids. And the other thing that preparing the eyelids like this does is that you're going to smooth down the color. Smooth down? What is the word I'm trying to find? You are going to correct any discoloration that you may have in your eyelids. Usually our eyelids tend to have redness or darkness or a lot of veins just showing. So by doing this, you are preparing your eyelids like a blank canvas, so that doesn't have those discolorations interfering with the pigment that you are applying with your eyeshadow. So I'm just dabbing that, and now I'm gonna set that concealer that I applied my eyelids, and I'm gonna be using my powder from Charlotte Tilbury, this mini one that I shared with you in that video from my full face of Charlotte Tilbury, because it's broken. I'm trying to use it up. This is a mini version. This powder is really good. I really like it. So I'm gonna take it with a little blending eyeshadow brush. I'm gonna take a little bit of that, try not to make a mess because it's broken. But this is really good, especially again if you have oily eyelids like I do. You need to set that concealer. All right, now that our eyelids are prepped for the eyeshadow, I'm gonna move on with my eyeshadow. And I think here the tip that I want to move on to share with you is that you want to make sure you have the right tools for your makeup application. The right tools can make a huge difference in terms of achieving that effortless, flawless makeup, even for the eyes, and especially for the eyes. When you have the right tools, you will see how much better the eyeshadow application is, especially if you want more detailed work like creating dimension and things like that. Having the right tools is so important. I have a variety of brushes from different brands. Some of the brands that I have is Zoeva. Zoeva is a professional makeup brand, a German makeup brand. I don't see so many people speak about Zoeva nowadays. This one that I was using for blending the powder on and setting the concealer on my eyelids is called 228 Luxe Crease. This collection is the rose gold, doesn't exist anymore. I think they only have like a black handle. I'm not so sure right now, but I'm gonna try and link some of their brushes or a collection that they have available. I'll try and link that for you. This is a really good brand, very well known very old. The other brushes that I have are from brands like Iconic London. I have these because I really like the gold handle. So I'm not going to say that these are my absolute favorite, but they are good quality ones. They're just more like for everyday minimal makeup application. I have a few of those. I also have brushes from Refer. Refer is a Japanese brand, and this is a really nice brand, and they're really good for, especially for eyeshadow brushes. But I'm really looking forward to invest in brands like BK Beauty. They're an American brand, and I really want to try their makeup brushes because I see so many great things, and I'm really looking forward to trying that. But even if you get things that are much more affordable, for instance, e.l.f., I have some brushes from e.l.f. for face, for base and stuff like that. e.l.f. I think has really nice brushes that are really affordable. Real Techniques are really popular, and you also have Morphe. I don't see so many people talk about Morphe anymore, but I definitely see that you can buy still Morphe products, and they have amazing reviews, and I've seen so many people say in the past that Morphe brushes are really, really good. So definitely having the right tools is extremely important for achieving the most flawless and effortless, but the best makeup application. They're having the right tools is extremely important. Now let's get into the eyeshadow. After me rambling, I'm going to be using the classic eyeshadow palette from Natasha Denona. This is the I Need the Nude palette. I am really looking forward to getting her other eyeshadow palette, the most recent one, which is the Bloom is it called? It's the one she launched now for spring, I think. If you've tried it, let me know if I need to get it. I'm just a bit worried that it has too much warm colors. I really want more pinky colors. This one has pinky colors, but they are kind of like a very neutral, and I want more of a pinky ballerina color. If that makes any sense. That I've been trying. That's the kind of inspiration that I've been feeling lately. I have been seeing a lot of like what is it called? Those highlighters and blushes in this really nice pink that just makes me think of ballerina pink. And I want to do something like that on my eyes. Let me see if I can achieve that with this eyeshadow palette. So I think first thing I want to do is I want to lay down a little bit more of just a matte color like this one. It's called Fair, just to further prep the eyelid. So I'm just going to do a little dusting of that all over the eyelid, even underneath my eyebrow. Completely forgot to wash my makeup brushes yesterday, so they're kind of filthy. So please, please have mercy on me. All right, so I really like to create more definition in my eyelids because I have a little bit of a hood, and creating definition, I find that just enhances my eyes, and I think that it suits me. Some people, they have very deep set eyes, and you know, they can basically just apply one eyeshadow color and it looks amazing because they already have that depth from their eyes being deep set. But I don't have that, and I like that, so I like to create a little bit more depth in my eyes, and I usually like to start by creating more of a crease. And for that, I'm gonna use this color Stone. I've used this color so much. This palette is so good. It's so good, really. So I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna nestle it here in the corner, my eyes. I'm just basically nestling it with this eyeshadow brush from Refer. This is the number 14, and this is a great brush that's very precise. So if you have hooded eyes, you really want to have these kind of tools, like very precise eyeshadow brushes. So I'm just nestling it there in the corner, and then I'm just dragging it underneath my brow bone, between my brow bone and the socket. So just there, you know, I'm creating that socket there, that crease. I'm just blending that, and you see how having the right tool, the precision that it gives, it's just really helpful. And you can see that difference between this eye, where I have no definition, no crease, and this eye. This is so nice. I really like doing that. And then when I get to the end, I also drag it a little bit outwards. I think this is really helpful for helping to elongate the eye, stretch it out, but also lift as well. She's quite nice in my opinion. It just really suits me, and it helps just to lift and make the eyes look nicer. I don't know, I want to play a little bit more with colors, but this would be like the basic, and then you could use just like one color in the center. But I just love layering eyeshadows, so I think I'm gonna play a little bit more. I'm not sure which one should we play with. Let's use this Whisper color here. I'm gonna take it with this brush from Zoya. This is the 234 Luxe Smoky Shader. I'm gonna take this color here, and I'm gonna apply it all over the eyelid, but I'm also gonna bring it in the inner corner because it is kind of like It's a very, very, what do you call this color? It's very frosty, this color. And it's turning out to be a little bit too cool tone. I'm gonna have to warm it up a little bit. So I'm just applying it all over the eyelid. And this is a great technique. Again, it does create that dimension, especially if you have hooded eyes. It's really, really, really helpful. I mean, this is an eye look in itself. But of course, I want to play a little bit more because I love playing with colors in general. Okay, I'm gonna take this brush from Refer. This is the number 13, and this is a bit smaller than the first one that I used, and it's also really great for precision. I'm gonna take this color here, Vague. This is a beautiful pink. And I'm gonna add inner corner. I'm gonna add it here in this part of my eyes. So to just below that first definition that I did of the crease, just below, I'm going to continue to create that V, and I'm just blending a little bit more of that color on top of what I've already did to warm it up, and also it gives a little bit more definition. It's almost like I'm applying it in the outer third of the eyelids. That's it, the outer third. And then anything that is left, I just drag it across the socket line in the crease. I think that looks a lot nicer. See, compared to this one, just adding that little bit of pink adds a little bit of warmth, so it's not so cool toned. And do the same in the other eye. So again, I just sort of like put it right below what I did initially when I was creating that crease. Gentle motions. I just blend it. I blend it in the outer third and then all the way in the socket line. And if you can't feel your socket, you just lift your head up between the bone and the end of your eye, your eyeball, literally. And again, I just drag anything outwards like that. Just sweep it gently. And then for the final part of this eyeshadow, I want to use one of these two, Sheen or Mia. Let's see. I want the most pinky one. I think it's Mia. Hope you can see that. So this one is Mia and this one is Sheen. So I'm going to use Mia. So I want more of that ballerina kind of pink. It's not quite that, but you know, sort of. Really pretty though. I'm applying it mostly in the center, and then I take it slightly above, almost to the crease, or just like actually touching the crease as well. So again, I just apply it in the center, and then I just touch the crease a little bit, almost like in an angle. Hope you can see that. All right, let's do some eyeliner, and I'm going to switch things up. I usually do a black eyeliner for my makeup looks here on YouTube, but I want to do something a little bit more softer, something that you can use for the day or for whatever time you want. I'm going to use this eye pencil from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Rock and Coal in Barbarella Brown. This is a great kohl pencil if you like to smudge things. So it's long lasting, but it is those kind of pencils that you can smudge, and it's a little bit more malleable. So I'm going to use a little bit of this to do some tight lining. And this is a great little tip, is to do a little bit of tight lining if you want to do like an imperceptible eyeliner. This is really helpful, and it also makes your eyelashes look a little bit thicker. I'm just running it really close to my eyelashes in the upper waterline. I don't know if you can see that. It's very subtle because I'm also using a brown. Now I'm going to move on to do the wing liner. I love a wing liner. For me, for my eyes, I just feel that it suits me. You don't have to do a full-on wing eyeliner, but doing a little bit of eyeliner is really helpful to frame the eyes, but also make them look a little bit more open, and it just helps it overall for the makeup look. So I am going to do a little bit of a liner. So I usually like to start from the middle of my eyes, and then I gently nestle the pencil really close to my eyelashes and nestle it in between. So I am really close to my eyelash line here. And now I look straight into the mirror, and I'm going to start doing my wing liner. So again, if you don't like a wing liner, you can do something like this and smudge it and slightly angle at the end. You can clean it up, like let's say like so, and then you just do like this with your finger, and it creates like a little sharp end there that looks really nice and lifted. But if you like a wing liner like me, this can be really helpful. Lately, I like to do a wing liner using some form of a pencil, and then I will set it with an eyeshadow. And that's really helpful because it gives you more of a subtle liner. So it still frames and gives that definition and lifts the eye, but it's a little bit more softer than using black usually, and it's also easier to use than maybe a liquid liner, for instance. So let's go on and do the wing liner. So I like to start by looking straight in the mirror. Remember that I have a fold. Let me see, I don't want to be covering the mirror. Remember that I have a fold here, so I'm just gonna gently stamp over it. So I slowly start drawing. I'm not going to worry too much if it's not perfect, because I'm going to do the cleanup later. I'm just trying to draw like an angle, a wedge. It's kind of like connecting to the end of my eyebrow. A little bit over though. This hood is getting a little bit droopy and droopy each year. But you see, with the finger, I can sort of like drag a little bit and smudge it into a wing. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do the same on the other side. Okay, so like I said, we're going to set this with an eyeshadow, and this technique is really great, especially if you want your eyeliner to last all day. You don't want it to transfer to your upper lids, but also it's just easier, and it's going to help also set that pencil, but at the same time intensify the eyeliner. So I'm going to take this color, which is called Silhouette, in this eyeshadow palette from Natasha Denona, with this pencil. This is a pencil brush from Refer in the number 23. So it's really small, and it's great for doing like with an eyeshadow, just creating definition. So I'm just setting everything like so. Add color little by little, basically stamp it over that wing liner that I created, and I just pull it out. And then of course you can smoke a little bit the edge of the wing liner if you prefer. That gives it a little bit more of a softer look and not so sharp. I like that as well. Hope you can see the difference. It looks starting to look a lot better. I'm gonna do the other eye now. Let's move on to the base, and I am going to use a little bit of a primer. This tip is basically, you don't really need a primer. You don't really need primers so that your makeup application can be flawless and effortless. But I love primers, to be honest. I love primers. I love layering stuff on my face. I do recognize that they're not necessary. However, they can be really helpful for certain circumstances, such as if you have very oily skin and you want to control oil production. That can be really helpful to find a mattifying primer. Or if you have very visible pores and texture in your skin, it can also be really helpful to smooth that texture. But it can also be helpful to add extra hydration and to smooth and even the skin so that the makeup grips better to the face, but also to help with the longevity of your makeup. I'm going to use this one from Charlotte Tilbury, which I've really been liking. This one is called the Invisible UV Flawless Poreless Primer with SPF 50 with a PA rating of 4+. And this is very lightweight, just feels like a lotion, but I'm going to use a little bit of this on my skin. So I'm going to apply a little bit. I'm going to try to apply a little bit because I usually say a little bit and then I end up applying a lot more. You don't really need too much, but it is very hydrating. And this is the kind of primer that you can apply all over the face. Usually when you want to use something that's more mattifying, you would tend to use it more in the center of the face, where it's the areas where you tend to get a little bit more oily. But this primer, you can basically use it all over. And it does help to make the pores less visible. Really does help to even skin texture. And it just gives like an extra layer of hydration so that the makeup just applies smoother on the face. But now I'm going to take a little bit of this primer because it's like a lotion, and I'm going to use it to clean up my wing liner. Usually I do this either with my sunscreen. You can also use your moisturizer. You can use micellar water, although I don't want to use micellar water because I don't want to remove the sunscreen that I have underneath. So I prefer to just use a little bit of the primer or moisturizer, or even a little bit of the sunscreen that I was using earlier. So I'm going to take a little Q-tip. These Q-tips are really helpful, and I'm going to just dampen it with a little bit of the product. Although usually I tend to apply way too much, so whatever is left I will add it underneath my eyes, and this is going to be really helpful because it's going to further hydrate the under eyes, preparing it for the makeup application there. And this is particularly great if you have dry under eyes. So I have very oily eyelids, but my under eyes are really dry, so often I will apply like a eye cream underneath before applying the makeup in this area. Or this primer, actually I find it works really well on the eyes as well, so I apply a little bit of that here. And now with what I have on this Q-tip, yeah, this sharp one, I'm going to do the cleanup. I'm just going to do the cleanup and sharpen the wing. Sharpen and perfect. So I just basically, without stretching the eyes, because that can alter the shape of the wing, I am just going to look straight in the mirror and I'm going to drag it to clean up that shape, and you can see how perfect that wing liner is. It is really great, it's really easy, and it's really helpful if you really feel like you lack the skills of creating perfect wing liner. See, that's how it is. And of course, our eyes are not even, my eyes are not even, they're a little bit different from each, one side is a little bit different than the other. So it doesn't look exactly the same, but it looks good in my opinion. So I am just happy with it. Now let's move on to foundation. Now that I've let the primer settle in and my skin is nice and hydrated, I'm going to use the foundation. I'm going to use this one from YSL. This is the All Hours foundation, which is a luminous matte finish. In terms of what tips can I give about foundations? So as far as I understand, having a full coverage foundation is really good if you don't want to have too many foundations in your collection. You just want one really good one. I would say go for a full coverage foundation. I don't know, Still Lauder Double Wear, that's a one that I know that's really full coverage, long lasting and all that. Now Anastasia Beverly Hills has come out with something like that as well. And with that kind of foundation, if you don't want to have too many, you can use that with a little bit of moisturizer for you every day as sort of a skin tint to a BB cream or something like that. But if you want to have different foundations, then I, for instance, like to have more like medium to full coverage foundation. I just feel that they look more like skin, and then you can build the coverage. I don't like very heavy, cakey feeling foundations, although nowadays with how things have modernized, most foundations look pretty nice. But anyway, this is a really good one, and this is particularly good if you have oily skin because it is matte, but also it just sets and you don't need to use too much powder with it. I would say this is a great foundation if you are living in a country where it's really hot and humid. This is a really good one. I am trying to use it up because my skin has changed in terms of skin type. It's a lot more drier and dehydrated, so this foundation doesn't suit me as well, but with the right skin prep I can get away with using it, and that's why I think it's really important, the skin prep. And if you are a person that has dry skin and you want to use this foundation because you like this kind of finish, more matte finish, then I would suggest make sure you prep your skin really well. Lots of hydration, lots of moisturization, so that you can use this foundation. So I'm going to take one pump. I think one pump is usually what I need for this foundation. And again, the right tool is really important. I'm going to use this brush. This is a brush from e.l.f. and it's called Liquid Blush, but this is like really big for blush and it's almost like in an angle, but the shape of it is actually really good for applying foundation. At least I find that works really well. And another tip that I'm going to give you here is that if you want your foundation to preserve the coverage, you want to dab it. If you want less coverage, then you are going to buff it into the skin very gently. I want to have a little bit more coverage today, so I'm just going to dab that. Dab. The color that I have of this foundation, YSL, is LN4. Everything's going to be listed down in the description down below. If you're interested in any of the products, then you will find it there. And if you're interested in buying any of your products using my links, I would really appreciate you, because that really helps me out, supports my channel, helps me keep on buying products to test them out for you, to show them to you. So it really means the world if you can use my links. So again, I'm just dabbing. I should have shown you the half of the face. Well, I think you can see here how it is all polished, and I think this camera makes this foundation look a little bit more yellow than what it is in real life. I think I need to apply a little bit more somehow. I don't know if it's the brush, but I need to apply a little bit more foundation, so I'm going to take another pump. Also, because it tends to dry really fast, this foundation, so you have to work really fast. I tend to have a lot of redness in the center of my face, and that's usually where I will focus most of the foundation. I kind of use a combination of stippling motions and buffing motions, especially towards the center. I like to preserve the coverage, so I will, in the center of my face, I will do more of like dabbing motions, or stippling, and that way you preserve the coverage in that area. I definitely have a lot of redness in this area, a lot. And then here in the T-zone as well, I have a little bit of melasma there, so I'm gonna try to disguise it, and then I just buff towards the edges of the face the rest of foundation. I'm just gonna apply that. It's still quite thin, so it won't look cakey, this foundation, but again, skin prep is key, so that it doesn't look cakey, and instead it just kind of like meshes with the skin. But anyway, I'm gonna take a sponge, and this is another tip that I really like to do, is that I like to go over things with a damp sponge or semi-damp. A great trick is to wash your sponge like the night before, and then in the morning it's not soaking, it's just really damp, and I find that works really, really well for me. So I'm just going to go over everything, and this step for me is really good. I just love doing it because I feel that it helps the product just sink into the skin and just integrate more seamlessly with the skin. Because I love wearing makeup, but I don't like it to feel like I'm wearing a mask of makeup either. So it's really important for me that the skin looks like skin. So I'm just dabbing everything, making sure that it meshes with my skin, everything like so. Now I'm gonna use the concealer. I'm gonna go in again with my concealer from Charlotte Tilbury, which is the Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer in the color 3.3 Fair. This color is a little bit too light for me, I think. I struggle sometimes with concealers, and it's a little bit, I need something that has a little bit more peach in it. And this one's a little bit too light somehow. I think I could get away with the number 4. So I'm just applying a little bit here in the inner corners, a little bit in the forehead, and a little bit here. This is going to help to lift and brighten that area. I'm going to apply a little bit in the center of the nose, a little bit here. We tend to get a little bit of redness, and a little bit in the chin. It's also going to brighten that area. And the way I'm going to apply it is just with my same sponge. Just going to blend everything with the sponge. I just find it really easy to blend things with a sponge. Not everything. Sometimes I like blending it with a brush first, especially if you want to preserve coverage. So for instance, I would go, let me see, I have this brush from Zoeva. This is the 110 Face Shape. This is a bit big, but it's great for concealer. So you would, for instance, do like a pre-blend here. What I do often. Do a little pre-blend. I find it hard to blend this area with this brush. I'll do like a pre-blend here, and this helps to preserve more coverage if you want from the concealer by using a brush like so. So this is the pre-blend, and I'm gonna do now the rest with the sponge, and I like this little tip here. And then I just blend that like so. I'm just taking my blending brush that I used to set the powder on my eyelids before. I'm just going to blend a little bit the edges. I didn't do that before. And I find that it's really good to do that. I like it because it gives it a little bit more of a softer effect in the eyeshadow. It looks a little bit more seamless and not so harsh. And then again, in the inner corner where I applied the concealer, I'm just dabbing it gently so that it integrates with the skin really well. And just always assessing your makeup, looking close up and seeing how you feel, if things are working well for you, if you need to change or add more or remove. A sponge is really good if you, for instance, applied a very full coverage foundation and you feel like it looks a little bit too much. A way to tone down is using a damp sponge, and kind of like it removes the excess of product. So it's really helpful. Keep a little sponge. This one is just a regular sponge from Boots. It's a brand here in the UK. It's just from their own house, own house brand, and it's super cheap. It's like £1, and I really like it. I like how soft they are. They work really well for me. Okay, another great tip for longevity, especially for longevity, but also for seamless makeup, is to use cream products and in combination with powder products. And you know, if you're a makeup lover like me, you may have already seen this tip in many other YouTuber channels. But for me, this really works, and I really enjoy layering products, and I definitely think it looks very pretty. So I'm going to start by using this cream bronzer from Charlotte Tilbury, which again I shared in my video from Full Face of Charlotte Tilbury. There are other brands in the world, but I have not so many yet. But this one is the Beautiful Skin Sun Kissed Glow bronzer from Charlotte Tilbury in the color number 1. And I'm going to take it with a brush. Where's that brush? This is the brush. This is a brush from Iconic London. It's the 03. They don't sell their brushes individually. I think they have a few that are individual, but then this one is from a set that I will link in the description below. So I like to apply the cream bronzer, and then I just apply it where the sun would hit me. And this is so nice just for adding a little bit more dimension in the face, sculpting the cheeks. And I like to apply it high. I don't apply it too low because I want the bronzer to make my cheeks look a little bit more defined and fuller. And then, so I think you can see the difference with one side having bronzer and the other not. It looks a bit weird though. So let's complete it. And I also apply a little bit of bronzer in my forehead because I do have rather big forehead for my small face. So I like adding a little bit of bronzer to shorten the forehead, but also to add a little bit of warmth, and because naturally that's where the sun would hit my face. And add a little bit on this side as well. And if I didn't say, the shade of this bronzer is in number 1. It's almost like a cool tone bronzer, and I actually appreciate it. I don't mind it. I think I'm putting a lot of product, but it's okay. So I feel like that, and then you can also apply a little bit in the jawline. That's gonna sculpt the jawline, and then I take a little bit along the neck. I don't want to use too much of this one because I don't want it to transfer to my clothes. So just in case, I feel like I applied maybe a little bit too much of that cream bronzer. I'm just going to go over with my sponge, just a little bit here. And you can do that if you feel like you went too far below. You can use your sponge, and the sponge, you can remove a little bit of that excess product. Okay, now let's apply some cream blush. And now remember, I said that the tip is to use cream products, and then you're going to use the same kind of products in their powder version to set them, and also it's going to enhance them, but it's also going to help your makeup last much longer. So for my cream blush, I'm going to be using this cream blush from Chanel. This is their lip and cheek balm. The color that I have is number 5, Lively Rosewood. This is a bit of a dark color for me, and it's also very pigmented for being Chanel. You know, Chanel usually the colors are a little bit more soft, blendable. You can never overdo it, but this one you can. I like to take it with a brush, and then I pre-blend it in my hand because it is very pigmented, but it blends very easily, and it's really lovely, this product. I love this product, and you can also use it on the lips. But I'm going to apply it on the highest points. This is how I like to apply my blush. I just like to dab it. I like to use a brush again, this brush for precision. This is the brush from Zoeva. This is called Luxe Highlighter, but I like using it for blush as well. It just gives more precision for applying it in those areas. And I almost apply it almost like if I'm coming underneath my eyes as well. It's also helpful for almost like color correcting the under eyes. And I apply a little bit there, a little bit on the bridge of the nose to have that kind of like flushed look. Remember that if you blush, we usually blush in this area. So a little bit on the nose. Some people like to apply a little bit on the temples. I don't really like that too much. And here, I kind of just like to keep my blush in that area. And I do like to keep it high. Let's set everything with powder, and I'm going to use again my Charlotte Tilbury powder, which is called, what is this powder called? I think it's called the Flawless Setting Powder. I can't remember. I should know it better. But anyway, I'm going to actually take it with a little sponge. This is a little sponge that came from my blush Givenchy, and it's a little dirty. This one it's really cute. It's really small, and it works perfectly for picking up the powder in this small compact. So I'm going to take a little bit and I dab it in my hand. I pre-blend it because it's also broken. I don't want to have like thick chunks of powder, and I'm going to just set my face, and let's set half of the face so we can see the difference of how it looks. So I'm going to set under my eyes and all this area, the T-zone. You see how setting the makeup kind of blurs a little bit the pores, disguises them. And I'm going to do the forehead as well, a little bit here, also on the sides of the nose. And I think you can see the difference when you powder versus not powdering. Just removing that extra shine. It looks really nice. I'm gonna do the other side. So just to know, I have some redness going on around my nose, also because I use glasses. They're quite heavy, and sometimes it's really difficult to completely disguise it, but I'm not gonna let it get to me. And you know, it's normal to have a little bit of discoloration, and makeup can help us look a little better, but it's not gonna fully cover everything. And it's fine. I think it's fine because we are not perfect, and that's also fine. And now for the bronzer, the powder bronzer, I'm going to set it with my Guerlain Terracotta Light. This is a beautiful bronzing powder. I really love this. They have now a collectible packaging going on now and look fantastic. I'll probably link it if I can. And it's just so beautiful, but I don't need to buy another one. I probably want to buy another bronzer of another brand. I don't know what brand. What brand do you like for bronzer, powder bronzer? If you have a nice brand that you suggest, leave me it in the comments below. So I'm going to take this bronzer and dab it. I'm going to take it with this brush from Zoeva again. This is the 127 Luxe Sheer Cheek. This is an angled brush. This is great for blush, powder blush, or also to use for bronzer. So I'm just gonna dab the bronzer, and this is, again, it's gonna set the bronzer that I applied before, but it's also gonna enhance it, give it a little bit more warmth. And I like to dab it because that way I won't disturb the foundation or any of the products that I applied underneath. A little bit on my nose, and then a little bit on the jawline, and then a little bit also here. I like to put it just on the sides so that it looks cohesive. I don't know if you can see that, and you can see how the center of the face along with this in the neck is brighter, and then everything else, kind of like the shadows, just go on the sides. Hope that makes sense. So for powder blush, I'm going to use my Givenchy powder. Ooh, it's a little bit dirty. My Givenchy powder. This is the Prisme Libre blush in Taffetas Rose. This is a bit of a complicated blush because it comes like this, but it's a beautiful blush. It's just complicated because, you know, you have to dunk it out, and that's a lot of product. Wow. I said this is in the color number 2, Taffetas Rose. It's a beautiful, beautiful pink, and the way you use it is that you mix the colors because it comes like in 4 different shades. I think you can see that it comes like in 4 different shades. So you take a little bit of it and then you kind of mix them all. But I have to dab a little bit out, and then the correct way to use this product, because it is quite pigmented, but if you don't know how to blend it, it can look a little bit chalky or patchy. So I dab it in the palm of my hand. I think I saw Nicola Rose using it like that, and I was like, oh, that's perfect. So then you pre-blend it in your hand, and then you apply it on your cheek. And I just dab it like so, and look at that, it's beautiful pink. It's really pretty. I am dying to get a new blush, and I want to get the new blushes from YSL. Oh my god, I can't wait. I have to get it because it looks stunning, and it's a pink that I've been wanting. I want like this baby doll pink, and I think it's actually called baby doll pink, the color that I want. Anyway, so this is how the blush is looking. It's looking really pretty. Looking really, really pretty. I forgot to tell you the brush that I use for this, and this is the one from Iconic London. Again, this one comes in a set, and this is the 05, and it's like, has like this weird angle, and I like it for blush. It's really nice. Now I want to use an illuminator, and I'll only be using one product for this, either a cream or a powder. Creams are tricky because you don't want to disturb things. And I don't know, should I use this one? I've been really liking this one, but I haven't been using it too much because of the kind of sunscreen I've been using during the week. It's very oily, and I don't like adding too much oil, so I just use a powder highlighter. But for today, I kind of miss this product and I want to use it. It's a really beautiful highlighter, and this is from L'Oreal. It's relatively new. It's called the Lumi Le Glace. It comes in 2 finishes, so one is Lumi Le Glace and the other one's Lumi Le Glow, I think. But this one I really like because it looks like some more high-end ones that I want to get. I want to get either the one from Victoria Beckham or from Chanel. I think from Chanel because I want to do that Chanel video. If you've watched my videos and you've watched my Chanel, my full face of Chanel, let me know in the comments if you're looking forward for me creating another full face of Chanel. I am trying to save up for the products. It's just taking a while because it's so expensive. But maybe with the growth of the channel, I can do it quicker. But yeah, so let me know if you're interested in that video, if you're looking forward to it. So I'm going to use this, and this is in the color Glassy Pink Ballet. It's so beautiful. It just looks like glass, just let me show you like this. Yeah, look at that. It's so beautiful, but I don't want to apply it directly. You don't want to do that because with all the powders and stuff that we applied, we don't want to lift and ruin it. So I'm going to take it with my finger, warm it up, and I'm going to tap it gently without lifting everything. And see, doing that very gently, and I want to keep it in the high points here. You don't want to bring it too close to this area, otherwise you might emphasize pores and things like that. Okay, just about like that. I'm going to take a little bit from the bridge of my nose. Some people like putting it in the tip. I don't want it to make my nose look long because my nose is rather long already. And I put a little bit at the upper lip, just like so. And I am in serious need of doing my shaving routine. And you see how it looks? You can see that on camera. Just looks glassy, but we can also layer something on top. Let's do that after. Let's apply on this side first. Just gently. But I have to say, this product is really beautiful, and I have it, actually I did a reel on my Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, go follow me on Instagram. It's Linda Beauty Talk. and I share a lot of my day-to-day stuff there. I do a lot of stuff on stories. I love sharing like my workouts, my food, my makeup of the day. So follow me over there, and it would mean a lot for me if you support me and follow me over there. And yeah, I did a reel where I showed this product so you can maybe see a little bit more closely. So we have the glassiness now, but I want to add a little bit more glow. And I'm going to layer a little bit of my highlighter from Chanel. I need to be giving my Chanel highlight a little bit more love. This is the, what is this called? This is called the highlighting powder, and the color is 30 Rosy Gold. This is a beautiful highlighter. Let me see if I can show you with my finger what it looks like. I'm going to put it side to side to that. So this is the one from Chanel, and this is the one that I just applied. So let's see how they layer. Let me see. I need to apply it with something that won't disrupt too much what I did below. So I'm going to take it with this brush. This is actually a highlighter brush from Zoeva. This is the 134 Luxe Powder Fusion from Zoeva. And then I'm just going to take it and I'm going to just dab it. I'm going to dab it to enhance that highlight. Look at that. And what I noticed with this product from L'Oreal, you can also apply it underneath and then on top, and it will give you like that glowing from within. It's really, really pretty. But look at that. I think that's really pretty. I love this highlighter from Chanel. I think it's my absolute favorite. But I also need to get a new one just because I want to have some variety in my collection to share here with you on YouTube. So if you have any suggestions of what powder highlighter to get, leave them down in the description below. All right, I think it's time to do a quick eyebrow, and I have nothing spectacular to tell you about brows, no great tips, because I think most of them are in the internet. You probably already know about them, but I'll just share with you what I do for my eyebrows. And I just like to brush them out really quick to see what I'm working with. And they're starting to be in need of grooming. I like to go every 2 months to 3 months to get them threaded, and they help me just remove the excess hairs and shape them. Right now they're starting to look a little bit out of shape. So I like to use this pen from Maybelline. This is the Builder Brow, and this is in the color ash brown. And I just like to draw in some hairs, whatever I think that is kind of like missing, but also I try to correct a little bit the shape of my eyebrows, just a little bit, and then I extend a little bit at the end, the tail of my eyebrows, not too much, because that can also drag the eyes down. I give everything another brush to mesh the product with the skin and the brows so that it looks a little bit more natural. And then I'll set the brows with this eyebrow gel from Schwarzkopf Got2b. This is a great product, super cheap, super affordable, and works really well. I kind of just stopped caring about the high-end brow products because I feel like this works really great. And you can also use this for any hairs when you're doing these kind of like slick back hairstyles. I don't really do that too much, but I use them mostly for my brows, and I just use it to set them, and they work really well because it's not like so heavy that it makes your eyebrows look crunchy. I don't like when eyebrows look crunchy or shiny, and it's not too hard, but it's still strong and keeps them in place. Okay, let's do eyelashes, but I'm not going to do my mascara yet, but I'm going to still curl them first, and I'm going to use my Laura Mercier eyelash curler. Curling your eyelashes is so important, at least for me. It's so important. It is for me a great tip because it really helps your eyelashes stay curled, and it just makes your mascara work a little better. So I like to give my eyelashes like a couple of squeezes, not too harsh because you don't want them to break. And I do like 2 rounds of that. So a gentle squeeze, and then I'll go for another round. Hopefully you'll be able to see. I have decent lashes, but when I curl them, you can definitely see them more. So before I do my mascara, I'm gonna set my makeup. This is one of the best personal tips that I can give you, is to set your makeup using some form of makeup setting spray. And I'm gonna use the one from Charlotte Tilbury. This is the famous Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray, and it's a really, really good one. I love this product. And another way that you can use your setting product, if you really want like really, really long lasting makeup, like if you're going to a special event or you're gonna be the whole day and you really want your makeup to stay put, especially if you're using more heavy makeup, then you want to layer your setting mist. You can use it before applying your foundation, after, and in between layers. That's how I've seen a lot of makeup artists using it, for like really, really extra long wearing makeup. But for today, this is a really great long wearing makeup for day to day. Like when I go to the office, I only use one round of setting spray, mostly at the end, and it works really well for me personally. So I'm going to set everything using this. Oh, it smells so good. Yesterday I was in Space NK and I tested out the one from Vive, and it actually smells so good. I think I might want to give that one a try. It smells really good, and I think it works similarly to the one from Charlotte Tilbury. She inspires, her products are from Jenny Genevieve. I feel like they take a lot of inspiration in some of Charlotte Tilbury's products, and maybe even slightly better, I'm not sure. Okay, now let's apply mascara. I'm going to apply this mascara. I'm going to share with you. This is from Kiko Milano, and this is a mascara that it's called 30 Days Extension Daily Treatment Mascara. So it is a mascara that's also going to treat your lashes. It's going to nourish them. It's going to help take care of them. And I actually have the night version, which is literally a serum that you use every night, and I really like it. And this mascara, I like it. I'm not going to say it's my favorite, but I do like it. And the reason why it's not my favorite is because I have very oily under eyes, not under eyes, very oily eyelids. So a lot of mascaras just tend to smudge on me. And I have my favorites, which if you know, you know. I love my number one favorite mascara is the Dior Show Waterproof. And then I also love the Chanel, Le Volume de Chanel is great. And for a more affordable version, I really like the ones from Essence. But this one is not bad, and I really like that it has the treatment. So I'm going to apply it. And the tip that I have for you for mascara application is to take your mirror and put it down, and you want to look down, and that's going to help you not smudge on your eyelids. Although sometimes it still happens to me. And in terms of applying it, I take a long time because I really like to nestle the wand in between the eyelashes, really ensure that I coat every lash with the product. I usually see people and I just feel like they do a few swipes and that's it. And for me, I take like 3 minutes putting on my mascara. So that's mascara. So you can see it really, you know, it's not too bad. It's really not too bad. Hopefully you can see that. Oh, another great tip that I actually shared this in my video in Spanish, is to use a light color pencil in your lower waterline. And this one is from Beauty Pie, and the color is called Bright Eyed. So nothing that's too white, but more like skin color or even almost like pinkish. This is really nice because it's gonna make your eyes look a little bit more opened and brighter. And it also, if you haven't slept so well, when you do this, it kind of makes your eyes look a little bit more fresh. I don't know if you can see the difference, but I really like doing this, especially for the day. Nearly forgot, I need to finish the eyes. I forgot to put a little bit of product underneath, and that's really important because it ties in the look. So I'm gonna take my refer pencil in my refer brush in number 14. I'm gonna take a little bit of that color Stone that I used on top when I was creating the crease. I'm gonna run a little bit of that underneath my lower lashes, really close to the eyes. And that's also gonna help make the eye look a little bit bigger, and also that the eye look is cohesive. I don't know if you can see the difference between one eye and the other. So this one I have nothing, and this one kind of felt like something was missing. But now that I have applied a little bit of that eyeshadow below, now it looks like it makes more sense. You can also apply some mascara in your lower lashes. I personally don't do that too much because it smudges, but it can also help your eye look nice and wide and open. But I personally avoid it for most part of the time, unless it's a mascara that is like the ones from Chanel, or actually the new one from Charlotte Tilbury, which I have the travel size version. This one works really well on the lower lashes because it doesn't smudge somehow. It's a really good formula. So let's finish this look with lips, and I am going to use, let me just use this pencil from Kiko. I can't see the full name of this, but I'll link it down below. And it's the color 21. I think it's called something cinnamon. This is a really great color, and I love when it's freshly sharpened. So I love to line my lips. This is something I've been doing since I was really young, and this is one of my personal tips that I can give you if you want your lips to look a lot more fuller but also defined. And it also helps with the longevity of the lipstick, but it also will prevent your lipstick from running or bleeding. So this is a really great thing to do, is to use a lip liner. I cannot live without a lip liner, especially because I have very, very small lips, as you can see. So in the bottom lip, I like to just follow the natural lip line. On the top lip, I like to focus on the Cupid's bow, and that is where I will do the overlining. And that is going to help so that the lip looks a little bit more lifted, a lot more youthful, but also fuller. And then I will follow the natural line of my lips. And you can see how just with the lip liner, my lips look instantly fuller. Today I'm going to use this lipstick from L'Oreal. This is the color Riche Nude Intense in the color 173 Nude Impertinente. And it's a beautiful nudie pink. Hope you can see that. And it's really, really pretty. And look at that. But if you know me, I love to apply a lip gloss or something of the sort, because for me, I really enjoy a lip gloss because it makes my lips look more just fuller and more juicier. So I'm going to use this one, which is a new product. I love this product. This is from Guerlain. It's their lip oil. Let me see. It's their Kiss Kiss Bee Glow oil. And this is beautiful. This is in the color Rosy Glow. This is a beautiful, beautiful lip oil, and I'm going to take a little bit. I'm not going to apply it directly because I don't want it to dirty the applicator. So I'm going to take a little bit behind my hand, and then I'll just take it with my finger and I'll dab that on my lips, and it just fills in the lines of the lips so your lips look just a lot fuller. That's how it looks. All right, so that is the final makeup look. I really enjoyed creating this video and sharing with you all of my personal makeup tips. These are the tips that work for me, and I love sharing them with you. Let me know if there's any tip that you are planning on implementing in your makeup routine. If there's any favorite tip that I've given you today, let me know in the comments down below. And also don't forget to leave a comment if you have any suggestions of any other videos that you want me to create. I would happily try to create them for you. I love reading your comments, so leave them. I will read them, and I try to get back to you as soon as I can. Before I go, I'm gonna leave the last video that I created, which was the full face of Charlotte Tilbury. I'm gonna leave it here so you can check it out. And if you watched all the way until the end, let me tell you, I am so grateful for you sharing this time with me, and I'm sending you lots of love, lots of kisses. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.